This is an eMachines computer tower that I picked up at the thrift store when Hemrock came to visit. Now it was on half price day, so I ended up getting this for $10. It was listed at $20. I looked up the model number, which is listed down here. I looked that up on the internet and I found out that it, well, it's not looking good. We've got, first of all, I was shocked that it had all its components. Ugh. You're looking at two RAM cards, two stock RAM cards that I believe are half of like 500. I can't remember if it's 500 meg. Oh, it just came up. There we go. I made it work. Not a lot of RAM, but I can pull out the stock RAM cards and upgrade it to 2 gig. That's what this machine maxes out at. But the good news is all the components appear to be here. Let's take a look at what's inside. Alright, look at that. Isn't she a beauty? First of all, I gotta say, I'm shocked that there's a hard drive here. This uses this old master/slave system, so I can't put a whole bunch of hard drives in here. But there is this ribbon cable. If you look, this guy right here, I can use that to plug in a second hard drive, and that would power it with this Molex cable right there, which is pretty sweet. I can get this online by ripping out this old wireless adapter card right here and plugging in a little USB rig to get it on the Wi-Fi. That'll get me online. This is what it all comes down to. As long as the power source has held, then we'll be fine. But if this thing blew, then goodness knows what else is blown with it. That could have been, you know, as far as I'm concerned, if the power source went, we got a junk heap. Here's another thing I want to show you. This is kind of weird. We've got the DVD drive that came preloaded on the machine. And this was clearly a second DVD drive that was added in. So what I think we're going to find is the previous owner probably had this one jam up on them, and then they just added a new one in the empty slot. Compare this front to the front of this eMachines computer that I got in 2007, and you can see there's the similar DVD drive, and there's a couple of expansion spots. Yeah. One thing that this thing lacks, apart from power, is front-mounted USB slots. I don't have any down there. So I can take a look at my old one, see? I don't know how well you can see that, but there's a couple of them down there. Oh well, let's see what she can do. So here on my game setup, I've got a little TV set up on the bottom of the shelf, so I can sit on the floor and play Sega Genesis games. But I also keep a VGA cable hooked up to it. I use it on my laptop sometimes, so that I can do LAN parties with my son while he plays on my main rig. Alright, and that's what we're going to try this guy out on. We are plugged in. I'm getting ready to fire it up for the first time. It's not looking good. I think that's it. I'm not getting anything. We're plugged in. So that's it. It looks like the computer's broken. I mean, I took a shot. I knew I was gambling the money. What I'm going to do with it now, I do have an eMachines computer. I could rip the hard drive out, put the hard drive from this rig I just bought into my existing eMachines rig. My old machine is already maxed out on RAM, but what I think I might do is just keep those RAM sticks in case just in case I find another eMachines computer in the wild. Let's see if there's anything interesting while I'm doing my salvage run. This is the cage that had the hard drive in it. I had to rip this whole thing out just so I could get access to the hard drive. And I salvaged this guy, which is a Barracuda 80 gigabyte drive from Seagate. So I'll have to change this little jumper here to make it a slave drive. Stick it in my old machine for a few extra gigabytes. I got this that's, I believe that's an 80mm fan off the case, which is pretty sweet. Let's see. And I just ripped apart the CPU coolant system. So I ripped that out, and here's the CPU. Now this thing, considering this guy wouldn't fire up, this thing's sure to be blasted. I just want to get a look at it. It's gonna hurt my thumb here, to be honest with you. Ugh. Alright. There we go. Mounting the processor used to make me so nervous. I'll tell you what, on these pre-built machines though, the arm that holds it down is just brutal. This, if I can find the right circumstances to test it, could be worth some money. Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna stress test it. Alright, let's see. I could also save. This is killer here. This is an old wireless adapter. That's not going to connect to my Wi-Fi, so I'm going to leave that. This, however, is a fax modem. Take a look at the front. That will connect to the phone lines, so I can connect to AOL. And I'm tempted to save it. I'm tempted to save it. I really am. Maybe I can use it to connect to a bulletin board system. Oh boy. So that... And these guys. According to the internet, these are not even DDR2. I'm not sure what kind of RAM this is. I don't know my RAMs very well. But I'll hold on to those should I ever find a similar computer. So those, plus the old hard drive, plus that old fan, which I think I'd be crazy to install in anything. I think that's my salvage for 10 bucks. Not too bad. Your phone goes in, and then you to the phone, or the line goes in, and then the other one goes out to the phone. It's an in and out, so you can daisy chain your phone through your computer. What I find interesting is this guy right here. If you look right there, it looks like there's a place for there to be a battery soldered onto this particular board, which is something eMachines did a lot. If you look at the LGR video on eMachines, they used a lot of their parts for many different things. So you'd have the computers were essentially. Well, here I'll give you an example. All right, take a look right there. You have these two modules that accept cables to go to the front. Now, if you actually look at the front, we've got a little audio module right there with nothing here. Nothing here. But we still have the place where USB cables or something like that would go. That's probably because this whole front mechanism was used for many different computers of varying degrees of quality. And that's the kind of thing that eMachines did. They were able to keep the cost of their computers down. Do I want to save this? Yes, I do. They were able to keep the cost of their machines down by that sort of reusage technique. Okay, I keep thinking I'm done filming with this, and then I want to get one more thing. So that's the motherboard. That's the bare motherboard of a... Woo! I left a cloud of dust. Of an old eMachines tower. Even if everything worked properly, these right here were the killer. The processor could have been as slow as it wanted to be, and that would have been fine. The hard drive could have been as small as it wanted to be, and that would have been fine. But the fact that there was no PCIe means I couldn't put a decent hard drive in it, or not a decent hard drive, a decent graphics card in it, or like what would have been decent for the day. So yeah, I will say though, it was awesome to completely rip apart this computer down to the empty case. Now I've got this this empty eMachines case. I could actually I could start another computer and build it in this old eMachines case. Where's the thing at? Look, I can wire the switch up there, so you'd have to press the E and make it turn on. But I think that's about it. I think I have to let it go now. So that's alright. It is what it is. I'm glad I took a shot anyway. What I think I might end up doing is just fire up my old eMachines computer tonight and mess around with it. Just as a consolation prize. Maybe play some of my old GOG games in an environment that feels like what they were developed for. You know, play Baldur's Gate on the original 4:3 aspect ratio monitor. I think that might be fun. Well, alright. Now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna dispose of this thing. I'll see you guys in the next one.